Welcome to the Amity virtual workshop on coaching for performance. I'm Nutan Chaudhary, Program Leader, Amity Institute of English Studies and Research, Amity University, Patna. With over a decade of experience as a trainer, I have had an opportunity of training the employees of both private and public sector. And what makes me happy today is this opportunity of interacting with such a dynamic team with dynamic leaders. Why I call you dynamic? Because I can see that you all have opted to be a part of a solution, not the problem. For the next 15 minutes, when we are going to be together, I hope that we share some quality time, and that time in turn affects our quality of life positively. While we wait for rest of the participants to join us, I would request you to reflect on this question which is visible on my screen. Turn me on my side and I'm everything. Cut me in half and I'm nothing. What am I? Put a tick if you need help and put a cross if you know the answer. Pop in your thoughts in the chat box. Oh yes, some of you need hints. Here I am ready with the hints. No, it's not a thing. It is neither an animal. This is something to do with mathematics. Now apply your brain. I can read many answers, many responses, use response, and many of you are very much close. Some of you are very, very close to the correct answer. One of you have written 0. Yes, 0. It is 0, but that's not the complete answer. Because 0 is just 0, it's nothing. That means half of the answer is correct, but we are still waiting for the one more half. If I'll tell you the answer, and the correct answer is the digit 8. If you turn it on side, it looks like infinity, and if you cut it into two halves, it becomes 2 zeros. So the correct answer is the number 8. Okay, dear participants, now help me a little bit to know you better. What kind of manager are you? Think of the team that you manage and tell me, do you give them a lot of information or too little information? Or do they typically speak a lot and engage? Or they stay quiet and listen? You can see the type of managers. There are two types which is mentioned through an x-axis and a y-axis. You can see, and you can share your responses through your poll through this slido.com. Please start sharing the answer in the chat box. Oh, some of you have already started to share. Wow, such a mind-blowing audience I have. Great participants. I'm indeed grateful, mobilized for such a great participants. I can see the answers. Oh yes, I could read the answers like you want to achieve for them the confidence, and then learn how to figure out problems for themselves, and let me arrive at the sense of achievement themselves. Okay, yes, there's a saying that if you give them someone, if you feed fish to someone for one day, you can feed only for one day. But if you teach them fishing, you can feed them for the whole life. And it's the same way that goes here, that if you give the solution right away, you can help them with one problem. But if you help the participant to arrive at the solution by asking relevant questions, I think that you create that ability for them to become the problem solver, to become the game changer of their own life. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so happy to receive so many responses, and I can share the result of the slido.com with all of you. And see, I told you that there's no wrong or right answer. It is just, I think that if you have been so kind and so generous of sharing the poll, could you please share some instances, each one of you, whether if you are lying on the x-axis or the y-axis, if you could share some of the instances. I'm sure that you have many stories in store which are other participants along with me would love to listen. So I would ask you to volunteer. I would request you to volunteer. If you can share some of the examples, some of the instances on each of these managerial style, you can just write your answer in the chat box. Wow, such a huge response. My another question is that, which is the style which you use most? And what comes in your way of coaching your teammates? What stops you? What is that gives you trouble? Oh, interesting. I'm so happy that you're honest. I could never get up in front of the whole team and take the lead. Denial of the ability. Nobody believes in my ability to become a professional athlete. I might as well put that idea back in the drawer. No, don't do that. What do I have to offer? I know so little about the subject that you can never claim. Why don't they ask someone else? Opportunity always comes in the guise of the problem. And that is what makes the distinction between a loser and a winner. A loser will always find a problem in the opportunity, and a winner will always find an opportunity in a problem. Now I'll be sharing few coaching behaviors with all of you. But before that, think on these lines. Which one you are great at? Which one you already practice? Are there ideas and insight for us which you can share? As the behaviors are being discussed, think about which one are the ones which are your blind spots that you would like to reflect or experiment with, and any behavior that you would like to strengthen going forward. I'll share all these 6 behaviors now. So the first coaching behavior I would like you all to know is focus. Now my questions are, what do you want to achieve? And what do you want your team members to achieve? Come, let's do it. Think about a person in your team with whom you want to have coaching discussion and you would like to coach, with whom you would like to experiment these behaviors with. Now, as the workshop proceeds, you have to draw your own strategy for each behavior that is going to be discussed, and how you would coach the identified individual. Savitri comes to you with a problem that she wants help with. She starts the conversation with, I'm struggling with this. What do you think I should do? Now, what do you want to achieve from this conversation? And what do you want them to achieve from this conversation?